Good evening and welcome to West Rutland School and Hinch Gymnasium, home of your West Rutland Golden Horde. For tonight's contest against the Arlington Eagles and the Golden Horde. Starting for the Eagles, number 22, sophomore, Keyshawn Kinney.
The starting lineups coming out for both teams. It's a matchup of a game that was won by 3 about 2 weeks ago by the Arlington Eagles down in Arlington.
Senior number 10, Austin Hawley. And senior number 1, Brandon Gamble. Arlington is coached by Chris Tabb, assistant coached by Marcus Haas. And now, for West Rutland Golden Horde, starting number 35, freshman William Varsity. Sophomore number 3, Jacob Bartlett. Junior number 5, Jacob Dow. Junior number 32, Brian Maxim. And senior number 33, Zachary Trepanier. Your Golden Horde is coached by Don Judges Jr. and Don Judges Sr., athletic trainers Cody Parker, and managers Maddie Williams. Please rise and move your hats for the playing of our national anthem.
Down 3, 1, 2, 3, West Side.
Okay, about to throw the ball for the opening tip here in the Hinchy Gymnasium. Matchup of Marble Leaf League opponents. Arlington currently sitting in the 3 spot in the state Division 4 rankings. West Rutland Golden Horde comes into this game at 9-6, and they are sitting in 10th. So big matchup as far as index points and standings. Very good competitive contest. So we're gonna have a jump between Matson and Maxim to open out the game. The ball's up and it's won by Matson. It goes back to Hoyt, or Hawley, my bad. Hoyt was in the JV game. Ball's moved around the outside. Ball's thrown over to Lacoste. Lacoste gets the ball over to Gamble. Gamble to Hawley, back to Gamble. Gamble back over to Hawley. Big skip over to Lacoste. Lacoste throws it into Matson real high. He's able to catch it. Ball's thrown in down by the hoop. That's off the backboard. And a lot of contact there. Must have been touched by William Grabowski as it was going out of bounds. So inbounded by Lacoste. Lacoste fires it. And Matson sneaks down the middle. Nobody closes it down. So just like the game down in Arlington, they're going to work Jacob Dow from end line to end line to start the game. Ball's fired over to Maxim. Maxim gets to Bartlett. Bartlett to Dow in the corner. Finds Maxim in the post. He's working. Gets it to Trepanier. Trepanier steps in for the long 2. That's no good. Maxim chases it down. Gets it out to William Grabowski. He's going to fire up the 3. That's way long, but Bartlett is on the backside. Nice offensive rebound by Bartlett, way to follow, and finishes 2-2 here early in this contest. Hawley gets the ball over to Gamble, and Gamble fakes the pass and shuffles his feet. Ball thrown into Dow. Dow's going to be worked by Lacoste again. Goes by Lacoste, kicks it to Trippier in the short corner. That's way long. Matson comes down with the rebound, throws it up to Gamble. Gamble comes across the timeline. Ball stolen by Maxim. Maxim dribble drive. A lot of contact. Finishes at the rim anyways. 4-2 Golden Horde. Way to absorb the contact and finish at the rim. Gamble with the ball. Fires it into Matson. Matson backs him down. Some contact, and Maxim's going to be called for the foul. And we're going to say it was in the act of shooting. Basket's good, so that makes it 4-4. First foul of the game. First on Maxim. Matson at the line to try finishing three-point play. 6:18 to go in the first. And that shot attempt is good. Ball's thrown into Dow. Going to be worked by Lacoste again. To full court. Dow's just walking it up. Skips it across to Bartlett. Bartlett, little hesitation. Skips it into Trippier. Kicks it out to Maxim. Maxim, fake shot. Pulls it back down. Gets it to Trippier. Bartlett off the dribble. Dow's working off the screen. Kicks it to Trippier. Trippier, a little stutter step. Throws the ball into the backcourt. Maxim's able to save it though. And then there's a travel. So Maxim makes a nice save, gets it to Bartlett, shuffles his feet as he's trying to dribble that ball. So on the turnover, goes back to Arlington. 5-4 Arlington lead.
Cut through other side. Cut through.
Lacoste dribbling outside the timeline. Kicks over to Hawley. Hawley with the long three, no good. Comes down to Grabowski. Grabowski walks it up. He's waiting to get it set. Gonna work off the screen for Maxim. Kicks it out to the corner to Bartlett. Bartlett on the long three, no good. Rebound out to Dow. Nice offensive board by Dow. Kicks the ball over to Grabowski. Grabowski working off the screen. Maxim goes in and he gets fouled on his way up, so he's going to go to the line to shoot 2. And the foul is going to go on 22, which is Keyshawn King. In the last outing, King was the killer for Arlington. I think he scored close to 20 points in that contest. Shooting 2. Maxim's first was up, and that's short. Maxim's got one more. Scores 5-4, 5:11 to go here in the first quarter. Second one for Maxim's up, and that one's good. So that ties the score at 5. One team foul for each team. Gamble with the ball in the corner, skips it to Lacoste. Lacoste throws it to Hawley outside the three-point arc. Dribble drive, skips it back up to Gamble. Gamble back to Hawley. Get the ball over to Lacoste on the swing. Kicks it back out to Gamble. Gamble fires it into King. King tries throwing it into Matson, and Dow's able to come up with that loose ball, being chased from behind, gives it to Bartlett. Bartlett dribble drive, gets it to Trippier, back to Grabowski. Dow's looking for run off the screen for Maxim, goes by Lacoste, not able to finish at the rim. And King comes down with the rebound, gets it up to Gamble. Gamble pushes it up, skips it to Lacoste. Lacoste will dribble, hooks the ball, kicks it to Hawley. Hawley's long on that three-point attempt, and Trippier brings down the rebound. Gets it back to Dow. Dow's going to just get up, wait for his team to get set up. Gets it to Grabowski. Grabowski to Trippier. Trippier over to Bartlett, back to Dow in the corner. Dow kicks it to Maxim. Maxim thinks about the three. Matson picking him up, kicks it over to Grabowski. Grabowski's going to work off the screen. Skips it to Trippier. Trippier in the lane. Wild hook shot up off the backboard, no good. Still 5-5. Lacoste pushing the ball up the floor. Nice recovery by the Golden Horde. Close down that fast break attempt. Gamble with the ball. Swings it to the corner to Matson. Mattson in, big skip pass over to Holly, and Holly double dribble. So on that whistle, William Grabowski is going to come out, Zach Trippier is going to come out. Into the game, Johnson and Grow. Dow with the ball in the backcourt. Pushes it up, gets it to Johnson. Johnson on the fake pass and tries getting the ball to Maxim. Maxim down underneath the basket, gets a nice kind roll from the rim and finishes 7-5. Holly dribble drive gets closed down by Dow and Johnson there. Gets it out to Lacoste, back to Gamble, back to King, back out to Gamble. Mattson in the short corner. Big swing, Dow, good hands, but it goes to Holly. Holly up with the floater, and that ball's no good. And last touch by Golden Horde. Coming out of the game is Gamble going in for the Eagles, number 21, Darren Golden. So they fire the ball into Holly. Holly up to Golden. Golden dribble drive, penetration, kicks it to Mattson. Mattson's going to take the corner jumper. And we're going to get a foul on Holly on the backside on a push. So on that rebound attempt, Holly got into the back of Johnson and picks up a cheapie. Ball's inbounded to Jacob Dow. He's going to be worked by Lacoste in the backcourt. Going to set up and try to work off screen. Get the switch. Maxim's got the smaller man in the post. And Bartlett up with a wild shot, but a nice offensive board by Tyler Grow. He's able to go up and finish 9-5. Golden Horde 4-point lead. Ball's thrown into the foul line. Golden being worked by Bartlett. Gets the ball over to Holly. Holly back to Lacoste up top. Fires at Golden with the long three. That's a long rebound, comes out, and it's picked by Bartlett. Dow going down. King on the contact there. Holly's got the ball. Works against Johnson. And I think Maxim's going to just pick up his second foul. So Holly's going to go to the line to shoot 2. And they're checking on Holly. I think he got bumped in the nose, trying to see if he's bleeding. So Holly at the line, it's 9-5, Golden Horde. Holly's shot is very long. Second attempt is good. This ball is going to be inbounded by Caleb McLaren, who just came on the court for Brian Maxim. Jacob Dow being worked by Lacoste. Got the ball to Caleb McLaren. He's working against Mattson. Mattson got him trapped. And Lacoste is going to get called on a push on Dow. And that's his first. So 3 team fouls for the Eagles and 2 for the Golden Horde. Johnson gets the ball in to Grow. And Tyler Grow just dribbling around the outside of the three-point arc. Gets the ball back to Johnson. Johnson gets it over to Dow. Being worked by Lacoste. Dribbles away. Trying to get his offense set up. Dow gets it to Caleb McLaren. Caleb McLaren dribbling against Mattson. Dribble drive. Gets it back out to Dow. Dow up fake, and he gets called for the travel. So 9-6, 3-point lead for the Horde. 1:16 to go here in the first quarter. So into the game for the Eagles at that last timeout. Alex Paulson came into the game. And you get a foul call there on Caleb McLaren. on a blocking foul, third team foul, first foul on Caleb. Also re-entering the game, I didn't get to it, was Gamble. Hawley gets the ball off the inbound, dribble drive, that's way long off the iron, and the rebound comes down to Jacob Dow. So Dow's going to walk it up, no pressure this time. Gets it over to Bartlett. Bartlett being checked by Golden. Gets it to Grow. Grow over to Johnson, back to Dow. Gets it Grow on the backdoor cut, and he finishes at the rim. Nice pass by Jacob Dow, nice finish by Grow. Ball skip to Hawley. Gets it back up to Paulson, back to Hawley. Hawley thinks about the three. Big swing to Golden. Golden dribble, takes a couple dribbles, swings it back up top to Paulson, into Gamble at the foul line, and back out to Golden. Golden's going to launch the three, and that's way wide of the target. Johnson comes down with the rebound. 11-6, Jacob Dow with the ball. Under 20 seconds to go here, crosses up Paulson. Working on Paulson, and they're going to call the hand check. This bodes well because they work Jacob Dow the whole length of the court, and if they're going to stop the hand check, it's going to make his life a lot easier tonight. The ball's coming in, thrown into the backcourt to Jacob Dow. 10 seconds to go. Ball in Jacob's hands. He's going to look to do a runner. One-handed runner gets wiped out and finishes at the rim, and that's how the quarter is going to come to a close. Nice finish by Jacob Dow. Makes it 13-6 Golden Horde after 1 quarter to play. So we're going to stay right here. A little bit of foul trouble for the Horde. Maxim's on the bench with 2. Team's only got 3 though, which is good. And they're controlling the ball pretty well. They're able to get to the rim and finish. They've been able to figure out and close down that lane where the Arlington Eagles were able to exploit them last time. They've figured to try to keep Keyshawn King from getting those touches at the foul line where he made a living and actually scored close to 20 points, I think, in the last game. So good first quarter for the Horde. I think the scoring was definitely split around. Maxim with 4 or 5, Dow with 4. I think Bartlett's got a bucket and Grove's got 4. So good job of spreading the wealth with the Golden Horde here. They're going to come back out with the same 5 that they finished with, and they also get the ball to start this quarter. So up 7 and the ball to start the second quarter. And out for the Eagles, Hawley, Gamble, King, Carlson, and Golden on the floor. So they're going to stay in their man. They're going to work off a high screen from Caleb McLaren. Gamble picking up Jacob Dow, gets over to Bartlett. Long ball picked up on the backside by Jordan Johnson. He comes up short on the attempt. Caleb McLaren showing some good effort there, forces the turnover, toss out of bounds. Ball comes into Jacob Dow, gets it back to Johnson in the corner. Johnson off the dribble, kicks it over to Bartlett. Bartlett just holding the ball, dribbles into the lane, gets it to Johnson. Johnson just dribbling the ball hard, looking for a backdoor cut. Gets Jacob Dow on the back door, gets it to Grove. Grove kicks it back out to Bartlett. Nice ball movement, and Bartlett buries it. So good dribble penetration and kickouts. Nice finish there to that offensive set. Paulson brings it up across the line, throws it into the foul line where Gamble's now playing. And that ball is last touched by the Arlington Eagles. And coming back into the game, Matson and Lacoste. And going out of the game, Hawley and King. So Lacoste back on the court. He's going to come up and he's going to pick up Jacob Dow. 3-quarter court. Just some little phantom pressure just to work him a little bit. Ball's kicked out to Johnson. Thinks about the 3. Gets it over to Bartlett. Bartlett dribbles. Kicks it over to Johnson. Johnson goes in. Tries going up for the shot and gets slapped. And I think 21. So that foul is going to go on Golden. His first. Team's 5th, and Johnson's at the line to shoot 2. Jordan Johnson at the line. That one's up, and he buries it. That balloons the lead to 10 for the Horde here in the second quarter. Second attempt by Johnson. That one's up. That's off the back iron, no good, but Caleb McLaren Johnny on the spot, gets it back, gets it to Bartlett, gets it to Johnson, and back into Dow's hand. Dow's asking for his offense, gets set up, and gets it to Jordan Johnson. Jordan Johnson hits Grow off a screen. Grow just dribbling outside the timeline. He's picked up by Golden on the switch, gets it into McLaren in the post. Ball's on the floor. Good hustle by McLaren again, gets it to Bartlett. Dow gets the ball over in the corner, twists his man, goes in for the floater, doesn't get the shooter's bounce, but great rebound by McLaren, and they're going to call him for a foul on a push-off. It's a good hustle by Caleb. That's foul number 2 on McLaren. So both the big guys for West Rutland's lineup sitting on 2. So Lacoste is going to bring it up across the timeline. Dunches is going to have a chance keeping McLaren on with 2 instead of putting Maxim in with 2. Gamble in the lane, fires it out. Ball's across the Golden. And we got a 3-second violation called. I think it might be on Gamble, standing at the foul line. So now they're working Dow, trying to deny the entry to him. They get it to him. And then they back off to half court. Dow fires it over to Bartlett. Bartlett gets it to McLaren outside the 3-point arc. Takes a couple dribbles, gets it to Johnson. Johnson dribbling hard, in, up off the backboard, and finishes. Nice finish by Johnson. Golden Horde working hard here. Johnson picks off the pass, gets it ahead to Dow in traffic, and I have no idea how he caught that pass. He had 3 guys around him, but shuffled his feet when he tried to come to a stop there at the foul line. Back in the game is Hawley. Out of the game is Paulson. So the Eagles are back to their original starting lineup, I believe. They're moving the ball around the outside. Hawley with the long 3, no good. Mattson in there and just is able to body Johnson out of the way. Back to a 10-point lead, 18-8. Dow coming up across the timeline, being checked by Lacoste. Gets it to Bartlett. Bartlett comes off the screen, set by McLaren, gets it to Johnson. Johnson with the dribble, kicks it to Bartlett. Tough pass. Kick back out to Johnson. Get it over to Dow, and Dow's just going to settle it down. Dribbling outside the 3-point arc. He cuts through. Johnson finds McLaren. McLaren over to Bartlett. Gets it to Dow in the corner. Dow all the way to the rim and finishes at the rim. Nice finish by Jacob Dow. Well-run offense by the Golden Horde, being really patient, getting a lot of finishes at the rim tonight, and they're making them, and that's going to be a backcourt violation on the Eagles. And into the game, Maxim and Grabowski out of the game, Johnson and McLaren, and we have a 30-second timeout by the Arlington Eagles, so we're going to stay right here. So we haven't talked about it yet tonight. The West Rutland Golden Horde are missing Francis Grabowski, one of their junior shooting guards who was injured in a previous game. This is the second game that the Golden Hordes played without them. It was obvious our offense was in a little bit of disarray Monday night when they played BR Black River on the road. And now it seems like they've been able to work on some things, missing that big shooting guard. So they've been able to settle down their offense, and they've scored 20 points so far here in the first half. 4 of 38 to go. Dow with the ball, being worked by Lacoste, gets it to William Grabowski outside the timeline. He's being checked by King. Fires it into Maxim in the post. Maxim's looking for somebody to move. Grow with the ball outside the 3-point arc. Picks up his dribble, gets it to Bartlett. Bartlett working, throws it to Grow. Grow is going to cut away. Gets it to Grabowski in the short corner, and he buries the 2-point attempt. 22-8. So Lacoste with the ball. Brings up across. He's got Gamble on the wing. Gamble's dribbling the ball. Fires it across. Back to Gamble, into King in the post. And Tyler Grow comes in, strips the ball away, and the loose ball comes to Williams Grabowski. Jacob Dow runs it up across the timeline. Wasn't being worked this time. So they push it up, get it up there pretty quickly and get their offense set up. William Grabowski with the ball, off the dribble. picks up his dribble, tries to find Grow, and just fires a hard pass over Grow's head out of bounds. So 22-8 on the turnover. Eagles are going to get the ball. Lacoste is going to bring it up for the Eagles. Eagles are still looking for their outside presence. They hit quite a few threes down in Arlington a few weeks ago, and they just come up empty. Lacoste is going to try airing one out, and that is long. And Gamble's able to get the rebound on the backside. William Grabowski brings it up across the timeline, being checked by Holly. Handoff. And Lacoste knocks it away from Dow into the backcourt. No backcourt because his last touch by Lacoste. Twists him up, fires the ball across, and Gamble's going to throw it up over the top. Madsen in, and he's able to finish on the break. Lead down to 10. Ball's fired over the top, and a battle for the ball, and it's going to go to he pointed White's direction. He pointed in White's direction and called out red. So working the ball around, gets to Madsen. Madsen up off the glass. Madsen again short. William Grabowski on the rebound. Maxim might have got away with one there. There was a little bit of contact on the first attempt. No call by the officials. William Grabowski with the ball outside the timeline. And the ball's fired in by William Grabowski, trying to hit Maxim on the cut. Not able to find him. Holly dribble drive, and they're going to call Grabowski on the hold. Can't put the ball. Can't put your arms on the man when he has a ball and he's backing down, and I think that's what they got Grabowski on. Go comes out of the game, Maxim comes out of the game. Ball's fired into Madsen. He's going to fire up the three, and he buries the three. That cuts the lead to 7. Arlington on a nice little run here to get back into the game. Cost working Dow again. Gets crossed up, gets it over to Bartlett. Bartlett dribbles in. A lot of contact there, no foul. Ball comes down to Arlington, gets up to Holly. Holly across to Madsen. Madsen's able to finish at the rim. So the lead got as high as 12 for the Golden Horde, but a run of 7-0 by the Arlington Eagles has cut the lead down to 5 with 1:42 to go. So we're going to stay right here. Donnie Dunch is calling a timeout, trying to get his team settled down. Trying to rush a little bit too much on the offensive end of the floor right now, trying to force passes instead of working the ball into good locations. So West Rutland's going to enter the ball in from under their own basket. Team fouls are 5-5. So still foul to give for each team before they'll be shooting, and Arlington's going to come out and they're going to press everybody on the floor. The ball comes into Bartlett. He's going to be checked by Gamble. Bartlett's going to just dribble up across the timeline and going to get a hand check called there on Gamble. And I believe that was Gamble's second. Nope, that's only his first. So first foul on Gamble, 6th on the team. West Rutland's going to be shooting on every foul from here on out for the rest of the first half. Minute 32 to go. Dow, nice step through, gets it out to Grabowski. Long on that three-point attempt. And the ball's down, they're leaking out. Gamble's leaking out and finishes at the rim. Nobody noticed Gamble taking off. Ball's into Dow. Lead is down to 3. Ford's gone a long stretch here without making a basket. Ball's into Bartlett from Dow's hands. Bartlett off the fake pass, gets all the way into the lane, kicks it to Dow in the short corner. Dow buries the jumper. Stop the bleeding a little bit. The 9-0 run comes to an end. 24-19, 5-point lead. Gamble with the ball. Fires it into King at the foul line. King's been in the lane for a very long time. And Madsen, being pressured by Grabowski, dribbles the ball out of bounds. So 46.2 seconds to go. Grabowski to inbound the ball. and the ball's thrown into Dow. Dow being checked by Lacoste. Clears out the backcourt, and Dow comes up across. Handoff to Grabowski. Grabowski comes off the handoff, gets it over to Johnson. Johnson dribbling across, looking for Dow, and he travels. Costly turnover there with not much time left on the clock. 28.6, 5-point lead for the Horde. Matson's going to inbound the ball to Lacoste. Lacoste is just going to slowly walk it up over the timeline. I don't know if they're going to hold for a last shot or best shot. They're going to work the ball around the outside. 20 seconds go, get into Max, and in the short corner, Matson back to Gamble. Kick it over to Hawley. Hawley back to Lacoste, and King's going to fire up a wild shot. Rebound comes down to Dow. 7 seconds to go. Don't know if they're recognizing. Jordan Johnson fires a wild pass. King from three-quarters court comes up completely empty. So the first half ends 24-19. We're going to take a break and we'll be back for second half action. Okay, we're back to action here. Sorry for the little bit of delay. 5-point lead for the Golden Horde. 24-19. Horde built their lead. Built a pretty substantial lead. A late run, 7-0 run by Arlington Eagles made it a much tighter ball game here to start the second half. West Rutland with their normal starting lineup. Arlington back with their starting lineup. And King gets his pocket picked by William Grabowski, and Dow is going to bring it up across the timeline. Ball's fired over to Bartlett, takes his eyes off it, and it goes off his hands out of bounds. So on the floor for the Horde real quick, Dow, William Grabowski, Brian Maxim, Zach Trippier, and Jake Bartlett on the floor for the Eagles. Gamble, Hawley, Matson, King, and Lacoste. Lacoste with the ball on the wing, fires back up to Gamble. Gamble's looking for that foul line player. Nothing's there. Gets it into Matson down in the short corner. Matson's looking for somebody. Can't find anybody. Gets to Lacoste. Flips it over to Hawley. Hawley into Gamble. Gets it to King. King on that foul line jumper. Buries the jumper. Gets it down to a 3-point lead for the Horde. Lacoste working. Dow gets it over to Bartlett. Bartlett skips it over to Maxim. Maxim over to Grabowski. Gets it into Maxim in the post. He works his way around and gets hung up and travels. So backdoor cut, find Maxim. He got caught up in some men and wasn't able to get that pass off before he shuffled his feet. So Gamble with the ball, brings it up across. Closest the game's been in a while. 3-point contest. Arlington can tie it if they can get a 3. Matson dribbles in, kicks it out to Hawley. There's the 3-point attempt. No good. William Grabowski comes down with the rebound on the backside. Nice job by Grabowski. Tries throwing the ball over the top to Trippier. Hawley knocks it out, and the ball's going to be inbounded right in front of the Arlington bench. And Dow being worked by Lacoste again in the backcourt. And he goes by him, kicks it to Maxim. Maxim tries to get it over to Trippier, and the ball's kicked out of bounds. Last touch by an Eagle, so it's going to be West Rutland ball. So almost 2 minutes in, West Rutland still looking for their first bucket of the second half. Ball's fired into Trippier outside the 3-point arc, gets it over to Bartlett. Bartlett dribble drive, circles back out. Gamble checking him. Ball's thrown over to Trippier. Trippier being worked by King, and Trippier throws a wild pass up over the top. Dow slows Lacoste down. Ball's fired in to Matson, and Maxim just picked up his third, I believe. So Maxim sitting on 3, 5:48 to go here. So Matson at the line to shoot 2. First one's up and it's good. Matson's got a second attempt. 2-point lead now for the Horde. That shot's up, and that one's also good, so it's down to a 1-point lead. Horde still looking for their first bucket of the second half. 4-0 run to start the second half for the Eagles. Dow comes up across against Lacoste, gets it to Grabowski, back to Dow. Dow finds Bartlett. Bartlett goes up, a lot of contact there, no call. And Tyler Groh tries to let Bartlett get it. Hawley's trying to hit Lacoste on the fast break and throws it out of bounds. So some sloppy play here by the Golden Horde. Ball's thrown into Dow, and they're going to just clear out and let him work against Lacoste. Goes by Lacoste. Picks up his ball, picks up the dribble, gets it, works off the screen. Grabowski works off the screen from Maxim, gets it to Groh. Groh with a dribble drive, goes up, goes off the backboard and finishes at the rim. So that stops the bleeding a little bit. 3-point lead. Hawley across the lane, little floater, a nice finish at the rim for him. Back to 1, 26-25. He'll work up across the timeline. Dow picks up his dribble, gets it to Groh. Groh just dribbling the ball around up top. Gets trapped up to the half-court line, and he throws the ball away. Lacoste picks his pocket, and goes up off the backboard and finishes, and Arlington takes their first lead of the night. Ball comes into Bartlett from Maxim. And Bartlett comes up across the timeline. Throws the ball to Grabowski. Grabowski, a little hesitation dribble, gives it to Groh. Groh buries the shot from the corner. And West Rutland jumps back in front, 28-27. Ball's thrown over to Gamble. Gamble finds King. King up off the rim and gets the ball to bounce. Ball's thrown into Bartlett. Bartlett comes up across the timeline. Thinks about the three. Tries hitting Maxim on the backdoor cut. Madsen with good hands. Goes around the back. Ball's thrown over to Hawley in the corner. Kicks it back out to Lacoste. Gets it to Hawley again. Hawley in the lane. And Davin calls a cheapie in the lane on Maxim. That's his fourth. And gives a little touchy foul to Maxim, so he's going to have to go to the bench with 4. That shot is off the mark. Next one's up, and that one is good. So Grabowski looking to inbound the ball. Jacob Dow being worked in the backcourt. Hands all over him with no call. So Jacob Bartlett tried catching that pass. It's going to be a full timeout, so we are going to take a timeout. So we're back to action here. It's going to be the Arlington Eagles ball. They got a 2-point lead, 3:27 to go here in the third quarter. Walks the ball up across the timeline. Skips over to Gamble. Gamble finds Madsen. Madsen's trapped down the corner, gets it out to Lacoste, gets it to Hawley. Hawley with a wild dribble is able to pick it up. King with a big skip pass over to Gamble. Gamble throws it to Madsen in the short corner. Madsen not able to get it to go. Madsen goes up, and Davin makes a call from the outside. So third team foul, first foul on Bartlett. And Madsen's good on that shot attempt. Second one is up, and that stretches the Arlington lead to 4. Jacob Dow is going to be worked again by Lacoste. Goes across. Jacob Dow just blows by him, gets it to Bartlett. Gets it to Groh. And dives down on his knees. King up and off the backboard and good. And the lead is now up to 6 for the Eagles. And get a foul on the offensive end for the Horde. That one's going to go against Gamble, his second. Horde's only scored 4 points in this quarter, been outscored 14-4, I believe. And Bartlett comes up short on his attempt. Second into the game, Golden and Alex Paulson for the Eagles. Bartlett's second attempt is up and good. So 5-point lead for the Eagles. Paulson walks it up across the timeline, fires it over to Holly. Holly fires it to Golden, back to Holly. Holly dribble, penetration, throws the pass across Golden over to Matson. Matson fires, and that ball is going to be off the Eagles. I think Golden last one to touch it, so inbound. Coming. Get the ball into Bartlett, or Dow. Dow being worked by Golden now. He goes by Golden. Gets it to Grabowski. Grabowski dribble drive, gets it to Johnson. Back to Dow. Dow gets slapped on the arm, no call. Gets it to Matson. Matson across to King. And the foul is going to go against West Rutland. So Jordan Johnson's going to pick up the foul. And that is his first. Ball's kicked into Holly. Gets it over to Golden. Back up to Paulson. Paulson to Matson. Matson throws it back out to Paulson. Back out to Holly. And that's the 5th foul on the Golden Horde. Minute 28 to go here in the 3rd quarter. So the ball goes from Holly into Golden, back to Holly. Ball's fired over, and good hands by William Grabowski to knock it away. 5-point game. Eagles still in the lead, 34-29. Ball being inbounded by Golden. Fires the ball over the top to Paulson. Paulson skips it over to Golden. Golden carries the ball and gets called for it. So Johnson looking to inbound the ball. Gets it into Dow. And Dow being worked by Golden. Bartlett being checked there. William Grabowski fires the 3-ball, no good. Jordan Johnson battling. Gets driven to the floor with no call. It's just going to be out of bounds to the Golden Horde. So just under a minute to go here in the 3rd quarter. Jordan Johnson with the ball, gets it over to Bartlett. Bartlett works off the screen from Johnson, just dribbling up above the timeline. He's working King, goes all the way to the basket, and not able to get that to fall. Paulson fires the ball over to Golden, and the ball's stripped. Good defense by the Golden Horde. Gets the ball over to Grow. Grow, little stutter step, kicks it to Johnson. Johnson shoots the 2-point attempt. Ball comes down to Golden, fires it up to Paulson. Paulson tries throwing the ball over the top. Good hands by Dow. 20 seconds to go here. Golden Horde down 5. They're going to work off a screen. Dow goes by them all. Draws some contact from King, and Grow can't get it at the buzzer. Gets a 3rd opportunity to finish and gets fouled and is going to go to the line. only 0.1 seconds left on the clock. So this quarter's over outside of what Grow does from the line because you can't do anything in high school ball with 0.1. Grow's long on the first attempt. And that's no good. So it comes up empty on those free throw attempts. So it's a 5-point lead. Golden Horde trailing Arlington Eagles 34-29. We're going to take a break for the quarter, and we'll be back for fourth quarter. Okay, we're back to action. It is going to be Horde ball to start the fourth quarter. Still trailing by 5. Plenty of time left. Ball's fired over the top to Bartlett into the front court. A little loose with that dribble. Gets the ball into Grabowski, and a lot of contact there again, but they're going to call the travel. Ball's thrown in. Paulson being worked by William Grabowski. Comes up across the timeline, gets it to Lacoste, gets it to King. Gets it, and he's able to finish. So we got a delay of game warning on Arlington. So I believe the next time that occurs, it will be technical foul against the Eagles. Ball's going to be inbounded to Jacob Dow. Lead up to 7 for the Eagles, 36-29. Really slow second half. Grabowski off the bounce, gets all the way to the rim and finishes. Ball comes to Golden. Golden dribbles up across, throws the ball to King. Almost picked off by Grabowski, but comes back out, goes to Paulson. On the backside, good hustle, a lot of guys on the floor, gets it to Lacoste. Lacoste goes up wildly, throws his body into it. Jacob Dow pushing the ball up across the timeline, gets it to Johnson, back to Dow. Dow gets destroyed going to the rim, and Golden is going to pick up a foul. And they're going to call that on the floor, so it's going to be possession underneath. That puts team fouls 5-3. William Grabowski off the back iron, no good, and last touch by the Golden Horde. Into the game, Matson. Coming out of the game is Golden. Oh, coming out of the game is King. Golden's going to stay in. The ball's thrown into Lacoste. Lacoste coming up across, leans in, goes in wildly, throws his body and gets rewarded for going in. And he's going to go to the line to try finishing the three-point play, 38-31. Second foul. Second foul on William Grabowski. And Lacoste is able to finish that. Dow gets the ball. Lacoste working Dow in the backcourt. Comes across, gets it to Bartlett. Bartlett being checked by Paulson. And Gamble gets called for the foul. So fourth team foul, third on Gamble. So 39-31, 8-point lead. Horde with the ball. Gets it to Grabowski on the wing. Grabowski hands it back to Dow. Dow over to William Grabowski. Grabowski off the bounce. He's being checked. Grow being checked by Matson. Works off the screen. Comes up and under and gets to the rim. And Golden fouls him on his way to the rim, so he's going to shoot 2. Grove is able to finish the first one. And there's a violation. disallowed the violation and reset the ball, so Grow shooting his second. And that one is good. Holly's trying to get the ball in, dribbles it across, falls down, carrying the ball up the court, no call, gets it to Holly. Holly back to Lacoste, and Bartlett comes up, trying to make a play, and gets fouled. And that's going to put him in the bonus. 1-1. 1-1, you got West Rutland needs to get somebody else in there. So Lacoste is going to go shoot 1-1. First attempt is up, and that's off the iron, no good. Johnson comes down with the rebound. Jacob Dow is going to bring it up across the timeline, so just under 6 to go here. 6-point lead for the Arlington Eagles. Golden working on Grabowski, gets it to Johnson. Johnson fires the ball way too hard for Bartlett, goes through his hands, throws it across to Holly. Holly up off the backboard, no good. That one's high off the backboard, that one's also no good. Dow goes by Lacoste, big bounce pass. And Golden is going to pick up a foul. And the Golden's going to pick up a foul, and Johnson's going to go to the line to shoot 2. That's 4 on Golden. Johnson at the line. That's up. And that bounces off the rim, no good. King's going to come in for Golden. It's Jordan Johnson at the line. West Rutland hasn't shot the ball very well from the free throw line tonight. So that one's by Johnson is up, and it's good. So that cuts it to 5. And Donnie Dunches, junior's gonna call a full timeout. So we're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be back for later action here in the fourth quarter. Okay, we're back to action here in the fourth quarter. 5:28 to go, 5-point lead for the Eagles. Big long pass over the top. King bobbles it. Matson is able to somehow dribble his way back up to a standing position. Arlington's just outworking the Golden Horde on every loose ball. King grabs the back of Dow's jersey as he's trying to go for that ball. No call there. Ball goes back over. 3-ball attempt is no good, and Holly climbs the back of Grabowski and gets called. So that's going to be a 1-on-1. And William Grabowski is going to go to the line. So we're going to have a long last 5 minutes of this game. Both teams are already in the bonus. That's Holly's second. So William Grabowski, who's typically a fairly good foul shooter, is going to go to the line to shoot 1-on-1. Chance to cut into this 5-point lead for the Eagles. That shot is up, and that's good. William Grabowski is also a pretty good outside shooter. Maybe the foul line will get him rolling. Hasn't hit too many outside shots tonight, so maybe these freebies will get him rolling. That shot's up, and that's also good. Both of those look great. King throws the ball into Lacoste. Lacoste coming up across, works back in, gives it to Matson, and William Grabowski is going to pick up the foul on Matson down in the post. Nobody picking up Matson down in the post there, and Grabowski has to foul him. So going to be 2 shots. Second foul on William Grabowski. It's a 3-point lead right now for the Arlington Eagles before these foul shots. So Matson at the line. It's up, and that's good. Matson shot the ball pretty well from the foul line tonight. Definitely not somebody you want to foul if you need to foul late in the game. Matson with a second attempt. Get the lead back to 5. That one's up, and that one rattles through. Dow being worked from behind by Lacoste. Walks it up over the timeline. Under pressure. Bartlett gets the ball. Being checked there. He goes high off the glass and finishes. Back to a 3-point lead. So Lacoste is going to come up across the timeline. Crosses up Bartlett. Ball's fired across. Goes off King's hand out to Hawley. Back up to Lacoste at the top. 41-38. Ball swung down into the short corner. And Matson buries another shot. Matson been the killer tonight. Ball thrown over the top to William Grabowski. William Grabowski cuts to the lane, kicks it to Bartlett. Bartlett's going to shoot the 3 ball. That's no good, and Jordan Johnson's going to get called for a push on the backside.
Hey, it's 1-1. Good try, Jordan.
And that's the 9th foul, so it's still 1-1. And West Rutland's not recognizing because they're not getting back on the lane. Oh, now they're finally coming back into the play. So King's going to go to the line shooting 1-1. That shot's up, and that's good. Second one's up, that one's off the mark. Matson climbs the back and gets the rebound. Gets it to Lacoste. Lacoste fires it to Matson. Matson down underneath. A lot of contact, and we got a jump ball.
Oh, wait, let's go. Let's stop.
So 6-point lead, just under 4 to go. Ball's fired into Hawley. Hawley with the deep 3. That's no good. And it's going to go back to the Golden Horde. Last touch by Matson. That was able to get away from Lacoste. Goes right by him. Little stutter step. Pulls it back. Looking for the offense to get set up. Jordan Johnson with the ball. Kicks it over to William Grabowski. Grabowski off the bounce. Gets it back to Johnson. Johnson looking for somewhere to go with it. Gets it to Grow. Grow with a runner. That's way wide of the mark. And Lacoste comes down with the rebound. 3:26 to go. Lacoste fires it to Hawley. Hawley back to Lacoste. Throws it into King, the foul line. Swinging the ball around. Hawley, big skip pass over the top. Big another skip pass. They're just throwing the ball around the outside right now. Realizing time and score. Just killing the clock essentially. Waiting for something to break down on the Horde's inside defense. And King loses the ball. And get a timeout called by Arlington. So it's going to be a full timeout. We are going to take a break, and we'll be back for the remainder of the game. Back to action, 2:47 to go here, 44-38. The ball's put in, Hawley drives, little forearm, and King goes up over Grabowski, and King again. The ball goes to Dow. Dow's going to walk it up across the timeline. Gets over to Johnson. Johnson to Grow. Grow goes across the lane, slips, throws a wild pass to Dow. Dow's able to grab it. Works his man, kicks it out to Bartlett. Bartlett, a little hesitation move. Gets all the way to rim and finishes at the rim. And Lacoste able to dribble it up across the timeline. They run a screen and roll. And King's able to finish at the basket. There was no switch on that screen. Dow walks it up across the timeline. Gets it to Bartlett. Bartlett, little hesitation move. Gets it to Dow. Dow's going to shoot the jumper from the corner. Bartlett's there, goes high off the glass, that's no good, tapped out. King gets stripped by Dow. And jump ball is going to go to West Rutland. Good hustle there by Jacob Dow. And we got a push on number 12. And Bartlett's going to go to the line to shoot 1-1. That's up and it goes in. 7-point lead, minute 29 to go. That one's off the rim, no good. Goes to Lacoste. And Lacoste dribbles past Bartlett. Ball's fired over to King, and we get a held ball. Good hands by Jordan Johnson. Take a break.
30 seconds time. All right, let's go.
Okay, we're back to action. Minute 21 to go. 7-point lead. Cost is going to inbound the ball. Fires it into Matson, and Grabowski fouls him on the inbound.
Tyler, fight through it.
That shot by Matson is good. I think he's perfect from the line tonight. He's been there 7 or 8 times. 8-point lead. And that brings it up to 9. Gets it to Dow. Dow's going to bring it up across the timeline. Low runner by Dow. Bounces around, no good. They work Matson. Johnson tries firing the ball across. Ball's thrown over to King. King up and under. That is no good. Tyler Grove throws it up to William Grabowski. Goes up off the backboard and good. Lacoste, a 7-point lead, 45 seconds to go.
Good job. Good job, Jacob. Good job, Jacob. Quicker next time. Hey, Mike. Jake. Quicker now. Jordan. Next time. Good rebound, fellas.
So 2 shots. Double bonus. Lacoste is up and gets the shooter's bounce. Back to 8. That one's up, that one's long, bounces around. Grove picks up the ball. Dribbles up through. And Grove goes into the lane and gets fouled by, not sure if it was King. Yeah, they are going to call that one on King. Tiger at the line to shoot 2. That one's up and good. That one's up. That one's no good. And the ball's hit out of bounds. And last touch by the Golden Horde. Matson throws the ball into Lacoste, and Bartlett fouls. Cost up, makes that shot. Stretches the lead to 8. 32.8 seconds to go. That one's good. Ball's thrown into Dow, 9-point lead, 30 seconds to go. Bartlett's gonna fire up the 3 ball and hits it. And we get a full timeout here. 26.2 seconds, so we're gonna stay right here. Gonna take a lot of work by the Horde, trailing by 6. The Horde's gonna have to foul and hope that the Eagles come up empty on the trip with a 6-point lead. Not gonna get a lot of attempts at the other end. So, see how the Horde comes out. I'm pretty sure that that's probably the last time out for the Horde, so they're not gonna be able to stop the clock again except on fouls. So 6-point lead. And the Eagles are going to inbound it on the end line.
Catch it, right there.
They throw it into King. And Jake Dow fouls King immediately. So 24.8, not much went off the clock there. I think that maybe 3rd on Dow. Oh, only a 2nd, so he's in okay shape if we need to keep fouling. So King at the line to shoot 2. And King, 3 consecutive shots from the foul line for him. And that one's way off the mark, but Tyler Grove's not able to grab the rebound, and it goes to Holly. And Holly's going to go line to shoot 2. So 22.4, it's just a matter of what the final score is going to be at this point. 7-point lead for the Eagles. And Holly misses the first one. Second attempt, rattles in. So 8-point lead. Throw the ball into Dow. They got to go quick if they want to do anything. Ball's fired over to Grabowski. Grabowski, deep 3, no good. Jordan Johnson, good hustle play, and turns the ball over to King. King travels, but no call, and that's going to be the end of the game. So game ends at 55-47. Arlington Eagle win here in the Hinchy Gymnasium. And we'll sign off from the Hinchy Gym.